Hello guys, welcome back to another video. My name is ShivDog74 and let's get into this one. So yeah, I know I've been really busy and finally today is like my last day for college this year, because now I'm finally on the Christmas break, although I do have some work to do over the Christmas break as well, which I'm going to get done before Christmas. I have a nice relaxing week before, of course, New Year's, and then back to college. So I am really enjoying it though, and I'm doing pretty well in it, so that's always good. But yeah, that's why Imola and Portimao weren't set at the right time. That you probably shouldn't have ever trusted me, because you know I always say I'm going to do a video and then it never happens, or it does happen, but just later on. Yeah, so a lot's happened since then. Of course, we have Saudi Arabia, the actual Grand Prix done, and the Abu Dhabi finale, which I'm gonna say my thoughts on it later. I want to see what Mercedes are going to do first and what some other people are going to say first. But just to give you a hint, I feel like I wanted Lewis to win that one, so it's a bit annoying in the way that he didn't win. But I'm not going to try and be controversial here or anything, so I won't say it just yet. We'll have to see what happens, but for the moment Max has got his first championship, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's more to come from him, to be fair. Also, of course, we still need to do Imola and Portimao, and then some other ideas I have for videos. Of course, we still need to do the November clips for Rocket League. I'm going to try and get that one done once I've done Portimao, which I'm going to try and do hopefully soon. I'm just going to do Imola today though. This is a pit stop challenge, by the way, in case you couldn't tell by the title. I'm also probably going to do a Gran Turismo video. I don't know, we'll have to see how well I do. And I'm also doing an Elite Dangerous exploration trip video, which I won't do it like last time where I talked while I was actually there live. I'm gonna do it so I just show clips in the background and then I talk about the trip and potentially other subjects as well. So that will come out probably before Christmas, I'd say, because I'm doing it with Cat Bunny again, but we just need a weekend where we can just focus and get it all done. If you're interested, we're going to Barnard's Loop. Also, I don't say this enough, but I do need to thank you guys, because I've had an email from YouTube, or the YouTube bot, I guess. I don't think YouTube would personally email me, but it's basically like a content thing, and it tells you how much how many, like, your stats for this year basically, and I have like 5,800 views or something, which is brilliant for a small channel like mine, and I'm really happy that you guys have watched it and have hopefully enjoyed it as well. There's plenty of likes up there as well, and comments, and of course either we are, I don't think we are there just yet, but we're almost at 50 subscribers, which is brilliant, so thank you guys so much for that. Enough waffle though. Well, there is they finally added F2 into the game, which is brilliant. We're going to do that after Portimao has been done, but today we're going around Imola. I've never driven this track. I have seen it, of course, in real life. We've been there twice in real life, and I've seen some gameplay of it, but I haven't actually officially driven it myself, so I'm going in very blindly here. and yeah, fairly short track, as you can see, 1 minute 15. I guess it's more average, to be fair, but yeah, it should be an interesting one. We'll have to see what it's like. I have been on Portimao. I've driven a fair amount of laps around it. Yeah, let's get to it then. So, Imola. I don't know who to be though. I reckon we'll be let's be a Ferrari, and let's be Carlos Sainz. So if you didn't know what this challenge was, this is the Pitstop challenge. Pretty much, you know, all the compounds of tyres. You have the soft, the medium, the hard, the intermediates and the wets. I have to use all of them in a dry race and see how far up the order I can get. We only do a 25% race, no qualifying, no practice. We have 0% AI, otherwise I just get behind really far back, and then it would just be a really boring race because, well, I'd be so far back that I couldn't make a difference. And you can see all of these bits and bobs and stuff. It doesn't really matter too much about that, but of course we have to make sure that it is dry and that the time is realistic. Yeah, also another side note, I have actually upgraded my rig, so obviously you won't see the difference unless you've also upgraded your monitor as well. But I've had this monitor before, but I've used it downstairs on the PC, so now we've got a new monitor, so this one has gone up here and it looks so much better. It's one of those coloured ones where it makes it so it prioritizes colour rather than performance-ish, so it means it will be slightly more delayed than my old monitor, which was more about getting the colours out as quickly as possible. This one is getting the colours out fairly quickly, a little bit slower, but they look a lot better, and I have to say I can really feel the difference. Well, not feel it, but see the difference. I've also got the computer chair up here as well, so no longer am I sitting on a dining room chair, which was really hurting my back sometimes after long races. So yeah, feeling a lot more comfortable in the car. Still got the same wheel, the T150 from Thrustmaster. Still loving the wheel. I'm really thankful for the people that got it for me, because I got it not last birthday but the birthday before. So yeah, enough waffle though. You're not here to see waffle. I already have enough watch time from you guys, so let's get into it then.
What a race we have in store for us today, with a competitive field ready to do battle once again. Hold on to the edge of your seat. It's time for another Formula One Grand Prix. A lap of Imola, anti-clockwise of course, unlike most of the Formula One circuits, will take our drivers around 3.1 miles of track. 19 turns, 9 right-handers and 10 left. Drivers will need to be precise at the hairpin at turn 7, given the subsequent uphill section. Without a good exit from that corner, they'll lose a lot of time on that stretch. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
Well, the throttle goes both ways, Crofty. You've got to have the discipline not to try and win the race on the first lap. So always be prepared to lift early and give those around you more space. Trying to be the last of the late breakers with half a dozen cars around you may pay off from time to time, but it's also a great way to lose your front wing.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position. And it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Perez, Charles Leclerc and Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Sainz, Tsunoda and Pierre Gasly, Norris, Ricciardo, Sebastian Vettel and Stroll, Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Mick Schumacher and Nicholas Latifi, Russell and Nikita Mazepin. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Alright then.
Go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Thank you, Jeff. So yeah, it's gonna be the normal strategy like usual, where I go from the softs, starting on the softs, going to the wets, then this time I'm gonna go hards. I can't remember if I went hards last time as well. I'm gonna go soft, wet, hard, intermediate, and then soft, wet, hard, intermediate, mediums. Yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah, pretty simple strategy, but that's what's worked the best, I think. And obviously I'm only going to spend a lap on the wet tyres, because of course, well, wet tyres on a dry track doesn't exactly work, does it? But let's go to 5 red lights here then. First time at Imola, so do excuse the mistakes that I'm going to be making. But yeah, here we go, lights out, and it's a bit of a bad start. I wasn't expecting Gasly to be there. Ocon makes a dive down the inside, tries to get Gasly here actually. We join in on the fun. Bit of an aggressive move on Gasly, and touch Ocon in the back, but all good so far, no extreme damage. Another touch on Alonso, so front wing's probably getting a bit flimsy now. But we make a double overtake round their hairpin. That was very nice, inside to outside, past of course our other Spanish friend Alonso and our teammate Leclerc, through the inside on Perez, and that's both of the Mercedes. We probably would have thought Hamilton being second, Bottas third, but not at this current stage. So we go for a dive on Hamilton, but it's a bit of a half-hearted one. End up going around the outside at the chicane, or the third chicane I should say. There's three chicanes I think, so a lot of chicane action here. But this was the start then, so both AlphaTauris got a really good start actually. So you know, good job on them. And then yeah, field was bunched up a bit. We didn't go forwards, we went back one, but was an aggressive move, but we got there in the end and passed Ocon and Gasly. And then of course we did that lovely overtake up the inside of Alonso, round the outside of Leclerc, just keep it on the track. And a bit of dirt sprayed, but that's all good. And then up to this nice flowing section, sector 2, up through the inside of Perez, and then this lovely corner. I really liked this corner once I'd finished the race. It's one of the better ones, potentially one of the better ones out of all of them I've ever raced on. And this was the Hamilton move, just round the outside. This was the move from Gasly, so you can see pretty aggressive, and then the touch on Ocon. But yeah, I would never do this in online. I'd be a lot more cautious in online. But A, it's a new track, and B, it's 0% AI, so they're always going to be a lot slower in the corners, and that's how we get some of the lovely overtakes done. Wasn't expecting this overtake though. Bottas was really slow. Like I said, this was my first lap of Imola ever, so I didn't know when the easy AI were going to brake, but they brake when you should be going full throttle, like half a mile it felt like in front. Just makes for an easy overtake, I guess. Potentially could have dived on Verstappen, like he's done a few times to Hamilton, but decides to go round the outside instead. And yeah, up into first then, after only a lap. and getting Jeff's approval, which is brilliant, and a purple first sector. So I mean, you kind of expected the purple first sector when you're on easy AI. This was just the small section of Hamilton overtake again, and this was the unexpected one that I didn't think was, of course, going to happen, and just basically braking at the normal time and getting Bottas. Ignore the dirt being kicked up, or the gravel. Did that quite a few times, but please forgive me, because of course it was the first time going around the track, so I didn't have the best lines, but clearly good enough for fastest lap on lap 3. And again we get fastest lap, so showing pace, and that is good, because when you're doing this pit stop challenge you need to get as far ahead as you can. And in the end, this is where we came in lap 4, in for the wet tyre, the worst of the bunch, but get it done out the way. Actually destroy the polystyrene barrier, which says 50 miles per hour, which is of course speed limit in the pit lane. And this was a bit of a surprise to me. I didn't realise we were going to need to change front wing. I did think about flashbacking and saying don't change my front wing, because of course I did that classic thing where it said that there was no damage, but yeah, I did have damage, but I didn't feel this damage. So it was a bit annoying when they did change my front wing, but I thought, well, you know, I usually always win these, so let's give myself a bit more of a challenge, and have that lost extra time of about 5 or 6 seconds or so. And then here we are in the P11 on the wet tyre, and as one would expect, getting swamped even by 0% AI. They do put a good fight up with Ricciardo, but then a bit too eager on the power, and then the back end completely gone on the wet tyre. Have to go across this curb here on the wet tyre because it just wouldn't turn. I don't think I am getting that place back there, and then decided to do a bit of Tokyo drift, and well, that let through a lot of the cars, didn't it? Down to P17, and then yeah, stuck and slow again. But luckily only needed to do 1 lap on these tyres, and then it was time to come in. That was before I also did a bit more of a skid and decided to play some Dirt 5, but yeah, you know, the wet tyres are obviously horrendous on a dry track, and that's why so many people do challenges with them. So yeah, luckily on a lot more of a better tyre, and that being the hard tyre. Of course, the tyre you're going to go longest for on, which is of course what I did. So yeah, now it's about catching up to the leaders, and of course they still need to make a pit stop, and I still need to make 2 pit stops because we have the intermediate and the medium tyre still to come. So this was the onboard of when I decided to play some Dirt 5, so you know, I had to quickly switch from the PS4 to the PS5, but yeah, setting a purple lap now on the actual good rubber, the hard tyre, onto lap 8, so halfway through this already at the back of the pack, but there's still plenty of people to pit, and plenty of people to pass as well, including none other than Mr. Mazepin himself, and push him a little bit out, bloomin' neck, push him a little bit out, and that was the job done. Latifi was a bit more of a tricky overtake because he actually tried to defend, obviously couldn't because he braked so early, but yeah, now we get the jump on George Russell, who hasn't had a lot of luck at Imola now, has he? And passed him through. Then we decide to give Giovinazzi a bit of a bum draft from NASCAR, and then we make this lovely double overtake down into the penultimate corner. That really was quite brilliant, but of course it is helped by the fact that they brake 50 miles early. This was also the time where everyone decided to pit, or a lot of people decided to pit, and we end up coming out just behind one Valtteri Bottas. So we've made 2 pit stops and had a front wing changed, and we're already passed on the outside. Lovely overtake, just like Verstappen's. Bit of dirt kicked up, but you know, what can you do? There's a buffer again. I don't know why this happens, but it occasionally does, so I do apologise, but there's literally nothing I can do. It's not like I teleported through or something. It's just that the recording software of the PS4 sometimes doesn't always pick stuff up. That was the double overtake though, on an off-board shot. This was the off-board shot for the Bottas overtake around the outside, kick some dirt up. And this was the Sebastian overtake. Lovely line there, got the drive down, and yeah, it was a fairly easy overtake in the end, but I thought it was a technical one. And lap 9 onto 10 calls for Charles into the pits, so that is now us up into first, just ahead of Verstappen. So our pace on the hards has done us well, and we're now in front of course, Verstappen. But that victory is short-lived, because on lap 11 onto 12 we now have to pit in for the second worst tyre we'll be on today. Of course, that is the intermediates. So down the long Imola pit straight. This is one of the longer pit straights, to be fair. Not because of the start. Obviously the start's fairly short. It's this part here which just seems to go on forever, and you just hear the cars whiz by and you think, wow, maybe time travel wouldn't be too bad. Strap it to an F1 car and instant pit stop. Now though, on the intermediates, and couldn't brake for that corner, so had to go over the bumps. And then we do a bit of a Perez on Perez, and we slow him down a bit. Unfortunately touched the curb and a bit of a drift, and that has eventually led Perez through. But I mean, it was a valiant effort to keep him behind, although to be fair, he brakes way too early again, and we're past him through. So again, as annoying as Perez was in the Hamilton fight, we're now being annoying to him on the intermediates. Pretty much the same scenario then, kinda. He was on the softs, of course, and his tyres were completely gone, but or he was saving them for when he could hold up Hamilton, which he did fairly well. And then once he'd held him up enough, he just went out of the way and pit in, basically, which is now what we're doing. We're pitting in, of course, onto lap 13. Bit of a jump again, I'm sorry, but I can't do anything for that. On to the final pit stop though, and that is the medium tyre, the yellow wall tyre, onto Carlos Sainz's car, of course us, because we're being Carlos Sainz. But yeah, down the order again. By the time the Aston Martin of Sebastian Vettel was passed, down to P14, and there is about 3 laps or so to go. So we get past Vettel pretty quickly though. Nice and easy overtake. Then up ahead is Stroll, so we do a very similar overtake to what we did on Vettel, on his teammate Stroll. Now that is, and we're now up and through into P12, so close to the points, but not quite there yet. We do have the hard tyre runner of Ocon ahead, so just get past him. Pretty easy overtake. This was a bit of an impatient one from me, and I just cut across a little bit, got Tsunoda, and Jeff approves of the Ocon overtake, which was of course a fairly easy one. This was the replay of it though, so again bit impatient, jumped across and forced Tsunoda a bit off, but not off enough that it would be a penalty in a real situation. I wasn't expecting this move on Ricciardo, but again, the AI, easy AI, that is 0% AI, slow a lot for people. And then just on the same lap 14, we have this lovely fight with Gasly, a bit of a punch onto the front wing for us, but obviously not enough damage to cause us problems, and we are ahead. Bit of a fight with Norris and Alonso. I've got that corner down though now, and the gap is really sliced up here. Go for a move on Norris, get Alonso on the exit. Bit of a kiss on his rear tyre, but through we go with a purple middle sector, and we have our teammate Leclerc ahead, which I think was actually slowing them down. I couldn't really tell, but on the minimap I think they were a fair distance, to be fair. And then Leclerc lets me pass, he might as well have anyway, and gives me DRS, so thank you Leclerc, helped out there. This was the overtake on Norris and on the Alpine of Alonso, and then well, it's clean sailing. So time is of the essence though, because we do ideally want to catch Verstappen and Hamilton. Perez and Bottas were fairly close by, but you can see from this helicopter shot that I was going full pelt, full speed, trying to set a good, nice, fast lap to try and see if I can get the top 4 at the end. And well, you can see that I was fairly successful, because now at the end of lap 15, overtaken Perez on this final corner, basically anyway. It might as well be the final corner. This isn't really I don't feel like it's much of a corner. Then we have Bottas ahead. George Russell has decided to kill his engine, and it was actually at the same spot that he crashed under the safety car last year, of course, at Imola. Do a copycat move on Bottas on the final lap, but the big question is can we bridge the gap by 7 or 7 seconds? The answer was no, we could not. So P3 in the end, pretty good for a front wing change, and of course the 4 pit stops and the fact we were on wet and intermediate tyres. So overall a good race, especially my first time at Imola. Carlos Sainz gets driver of the day, and yeah, good race.
As they climb out of the car, the Red Bull team are ready and waiting to celebrate a thoroughly well-deserved win. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
So there you have it then. That is your podium. Max on first, Hamilton second, and us close behind in third. Yeah, overall though, thoroughly enjoyed the one at Imola. And yeah, we do get driver of the day from Anthony Davidson, so that's always a bonus. But yeah, good race overall. We'll see how we do at Portimao though. So there you have it then. That was the Imola Challenge the pit stop one that is, for Imola. So yeah, it was an interesting race. You could see at the end there, the keen-eyed viewer might have spotted that the podium was the exact same as the one over at Abu Dhabi in the real Grand Prix, which was surprising, I guess. But yeah, I was a bit annoyed when I saw that they would change my front wing, but I decided to keep it in. It's a bit of a challenge, and it did actually make it challenging. You could see I had to make some close to last lap overtakes, and of course only got P3, but I was very close in the end to P1, and had I not changed my front wing, I would have been about 6 or so seconds ahead of Verstappen. But I suppose it did make it interesting, and well, I hope it made it interesting. You guys can obviously say how you felt about that race in the comments below. But yeah, that will do it for this video then. So if you did enjoy, be sure to hit the like button, comment on anything you enjoyed below. If you like all of my F1 content, go ahead and subscribe. Of course, I am going to try and make Portimao. I am going to try and do F2, the 2021, because now they have finally added it almost five or 6 months after the game's launch, which is, yeah, but they usually do that anyway, so that's alright. Unfortunately, there won't ever be a classic one, because they've decided to get rid of classic cars for this this game. I don't know why, but that was one of my most successful videos actually. Was the pit stop challenge in a classic car. Of course you can watch it now if you want. But yeah, till then, till the Portimao that is, I'll see you guys next time. It's been Chief Dog 74, and yeah, I'm off.